got quite a few of you watching. So yeah, I think we've got 61 so far watching.
Very good. I'm going to give a few shout outs there, Lisa.
We've got Stephen Burns. We've got Chris Worm, Lee, Danny. Oh my God, I need glasses. It's on my laptop, so it's like this little tiny writing. So it's like, yeah. So hello, everyone there.
Chris Weird, early for once in his life. Welcome along, Chris. Bernard, good to have you here. I'll attempt to pronounce some of these correctly. Vitalia Lano Mendoza, welcome along. What a wonderful name. So we'll get back to your questions. So look, please drop them in there for us as soon as possible, people. We'll do our best to cover as much as possible for you. But Lisa, what a week, and firstly, quite a round of applause for you for your coin of the week, which I did follow, up 32.
Amazing! What?
Reef.
Sean actually took a trade this week.
Well, I figure after a year of figuring out how good you are, I'd start listening properly, because you are bloody good, Lisa. You've been nailing it. You have been nailing it. So let's see if you can keep doing that for another week. So now, listen, the other thing before we get into the charts, I've had a tsunami of people asking me about this 1,000 to 1 million. For anyone new joining, do you just want to explain that again and how people can?
Okay, so for anyone that's wanting to do 1,000 to 1 million, I've had a million questions as well. I've had a million offers of people to give me $1,000 and trade their money. So no. The whole premise of it is you trade your own money, and you can do this in any market. It can be done in a bull market, bear market, whatever market, sideways market, upside down market. So basically we're trading the bounces. We're looking for what's called a cross support. So I will post some of these. I'll post one daily, but because everyone's in different time zones, it makes it very, very hard. So there's a video, there's a link in my bio on Twitter called 1000 to millions.tumblr.com. So go to there, and basically you can see the videos of how to find a cross support. So a cross support is a region where two support lines cross, and it's usually got greater strength. So we'll usually get a bounce, at least a small bounce. So we will generally get in crypto at least 3% bounce. So when that hits, then you put an OCO order in, which is one cancels the other. So it's a stop loss and a sell target. So if the order keeps going down, obviously it hits the stop loss. So, or if it goes up, obviously it clears that order. So in this market, I have been hitting those orders at resistance. So you find the resistance the same way we find the support channels, by putting the lines down on the charts. So I will show you how to do that in a moment. But so on those support sort of targets, we can find support and resistance targets. We're normally getting about 10 to 15% on a move. If something's super bullish, like we saw Coco the other day, I made 33% on that move. So I am quite up on my trade. So if I share my screen,
and I just quickly jump in there, Lisa, and give you another bit of praise, because when we did have that drop below 30, you absolutely to the dollar called the bounce there. And obviously I review what the other traders are calling, and some people lost their shirts on some of those guys' calls, shorting it.
Well, I was up like fairly late on Twitter with that one. So just making sure that this trade was not, people weren't getting liquidated and people weren't doing the wrong thing. And obviously people weren't starting to short at the bottom, which often happens. So, and that's the whole reason that these bounces are so sort of violently big, is because you've got so many shorters in such a, condensed zone that, a short sell long. So when the whales push that back up, then it's really easy to move it. So
Yep.
yeah, so I sat there and we were, you know, hanging out, and I was telling everyone what to look for with, you know, indicators crossing and that sort of thing. So, you know, if I'm not around, you know what to do. If Bitcoin's crashing, you know what to look for.
Sure.
And,
yeah. Just on that note, people, obviously we just do this on Mondays, but I'm sure most of you here that are here at the moment know to follow Lisa on Twitter. If you don't, her Twitter handle is in the notes below this video. Now, I'm going to shut up and pass it over to you, Lisa, but I'm going to say one thing: smash the likes, hit the bell button,
smash the like
subscribe
buttons,
to the
guys.
channel.
Smash them,
We do
smash
this for
them,
free.
smash
Do
them.
that for us. If you haven't already liked it, please.
So we've got 32.
Please
We want to see that up to, we got 200, nearly 300 last time. So that was epic. So smash the like button.
Don't make us be cheesy YouTubers and keep telling you to smash the likes. So just get it out of the way.
I'm just going to break out every 5 minutes. Smash the like buttons, guys.
All right, Lisa, let's get into this. Do you want to
All right.
bring up the Bitcoin?
So let's quickly have a look at my trades. These are this is the spreadsheet, the Google Docs that you can download from the Tumblr site. So link in my bio on Twitter. So I've had, I did a reef, a small reef trade at the start. Then I did a link trade. I've done an Ethereum trade, sushi, and the last one with Cocos. I haven't done a trade today. And I went to the beach and got sunburnt, so I didn't do a trade on that day. But I will do a trade today. And as you can see, I'm sitting at 1,388. I'm way ahead of projection here. So projection is like 11.59. So I should get to that $1 million essentially quicker. I don't expect that every trade's going to be a winner. So eventually I'm going to have a losing trade or two. That happens. It's part of trading. But I am up. So, you know, if I do have a losing trade, it's only going to be 2 to 3%. So I'm still going to be up on this value. So that's the benefit of holding those trades to the resistance, is that when you do have a losing trade, it's only like a 2 to 3% loss as compared to, you know, you're ahead in the other trade. So that is what's happening so far. So this is the beauty of a cross resistance and finding those cross resistances on the chart and doing this. And this is basically to show you that in, it should take about 250, 300 days. So under a year from 1,000 to $1 million. And, you know, it should be a fairly easy, stress-free thing because you're only playing those small bounces. So it's not like you have to sit there and stress over all of the waves and where the direction is or all of that sort of stuff, because on a cross support, it will generally bounce. So, and as we can see here, this is what's happening. So,
well, we're off to a good start. I like it.
So we're off to a good start, and I've been retweeting a lot of people that are following the 1,000 to million to show you that a lot of people are making profits. There's a couple of that have had a couple of small losses because they're unsure of how the cross supports work. So if we go, I'll pull up a Bitcoin chart actually, and I'll just run through that. So as to how to find a cross support. So basically it's about drawing lines on a chart. So we would just get our trend line. We would pull this down. So you can see that it's bouncing here. So we have this whole range up here. So we've got this support. We've got this diagonal support along here. As the waves start forming, then we get these drops. So we know that we're going to get a drop here because we've got support in these regions. So we can see, you know, if this wave sort of starts turning, then you know that this is, you know, we're going to get these drops down here. So as these waves sort of start dropping, then I'll zoom in on this. This is a 15-minute chart. So I recommend looking at 15-minute first and then pushing it up to an hour. So we have this these waves starting to sort of drop down here. So we've seen this and we've got this angle here. So then we would draw this line. So the same as what we would do here. So we've got these waves. Once these start turning down, you would then find a support region from the previous wave here. So you can kind of, and then you would ladder into this trade. So you kind of know that this is going to bounce at this point and then continue higher. So by laddering in, you don't, if it doesn't come right into the cross, you still get that sort of target. So sometimes it will like obviously break down from that. So at this point, it has broken down on this one. So you would have, like if you were playing this bounce here, you would have taken a loss. That's where Elliott wave comes into it. And you would know to count the waves and that you've got enough waves in this position that it's going to drop deeper. So then your support region would be along here. And then you would have the cross support. Oops, wrong one. So we would have this along here. So we've got quite a good cross support in this region. So, and if we were targeting resistance in this area, you can see that this is a resistance. You would put an OCO order here. So, and on Bitcoin.
Sorry, Lisa, an OCO order for those that don't know?
Yeah, OCO. So one cancels the other. So that's on Binance. So on Bitcoin, the bounces are not as strong, obviously, because it's Bitcoin and a lot of people are in margin. So I don't recommend Bitcoin on this challenge because obviously it doesn't move, but it's just easy to show where these supports and resistances are on Bitcoin because it forms them really well. Yeah, so that's a 2.5% move, which is not bad. So if you were in margin on that, it would be, you know, a 25% move because, you know, even a low level margin, you're going to make some good money. But yeah, for the 1,000 to million, I recommend it being in spot and being mainly sort of, you know, easy to play alts, sort of in and out, sort of like Chainlink and, you know, those ones that in Reef that we have been playing. So, but that's kind of, there's a video up on the site of how to find the cross supports and how to trade those and have your orders waiting and just be patient for those to be, you know, picked up. And then as soon as they're picked up, then you put the OCO order on. So it unfortunately is a bit of a manual process on Binance. So on Bitfinex, you can do it all at the same time. So it makes it a lot easier.
So what's Bitcoin going to do this week?
Bitcoin's going to hopefully go up. So I'll go to the BLX. So let's have a look at this chart. So the only thing there is a couple of patterns here on Bitcoin. So, you know, there are a couple of patterns that do take us much lower. At the moment, we are holding patterns that are taking us higher. So, you know, that's pretty good. And we've been holding MAs and EMAs and that sort of thing. So that tells me that we're still in this, this pattern, this condensed pattern, where we've got this ABCD, potentially DE pattern. So, you know, there's always a possibility that we can continue higher at the C. So I do actually tell everyone to buy the C wave. And then, you know, obviously it can push higher from here. But occasionally we do get the D and the E wave. So if we do get that, that forms our base in this region. And, you know, that sort of, we've got a nice bull flag because we've entered up into the bull flag. About 95% of the time we enter going up, going out. So that's potentially what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. There is a pattern for Bitcoin because we haven't yet broken higher and we're still stuck under this resistance. So if we look at this, we're still stuck under this resistance. We could potentially come to this point and then drop. So if that's the case, we've got a deeper retrace where we'll probably touch around, this is this point, come back up to here, and then retouch down at this technical pivot, which is around just under the all-time high. So, you know, there is a possibility that we could, you know, retest that all-time high. And, you know, this pattern is not. So if we're on a 3-day chart, so this fourth wave could then retest at this point, which is about 32,000. So potentially we've got this drop where we're exploding down to about 23 sort of 500, where we'll have this, you know, explosive wave that will, you know, rise about $10,000 in a day. Everyone will think we're super bullish, then it'll drop down again because the pattern's not complete. So yeah, that's the potential that could happen if we don't hold these upper ranges. So at the moment on the low time frames, we are looking.
Lisa, can I just jump in there with a question?
Yeah.
Because obviously I was following that you know, where we went below 30K, there was huge panic. A lot of these other trading shows were absolutely adamant we were hitting 25 or lower, and that was absolutely imminent. You called a bounce at 28.5. I think you were bang on. What gave you confidence there? It would be my first question. And what sort of levels should we really be looking at in the coming days?
Well, I honestly think we're going up. I think we're, you know, we've seen that on Ethereum. The alt patterns are not complete. So I think if to take Bitcoin down to that sort of 25K range sort of takes out all of those alt patterns that are still completing. So if we were on wave highs on all of the alts, and I'd be like, okay, maybe Bitcoin's going to, you know, absolutely drop and take the market out, because that's what happens. But because we're still on in-between waves on a lot of the altcoins, and obviously Ethereum's just hit its all-time high today, and, you know, that pattern's not complete yet either. But the other thing that worries me is that in 2017, Bitcoin hit its all-time high. And then in January, Ethereum hit its all-time high. So we're kind of history repeating at the moment. You know, Bitcoin is holding this range. It hasn't dropped like it did in 2017. So it's got stronger moves, and it's, you know, it's working really well with the indicators. So, yeah, that's sort of, so if we have a look at this market psychology, where we had the, you know, euphoria, and we've had that sort of moment where Bitcoin sort of hit, you know, that 40,000 range. So this is the only concern that I have looking at past history, and history does repeat, that Ethereum did hit the all-time high in January, and Bitcoin continued to drop lower. So, you know, if we don't start to, if we don't retest that resistance, so, you know, if it sort of starts to look like this pattern and we're not retesting that upper resistance, so, you know, sort of coming up to this 41,000 mark over the next sort of little period, then I'll start to worry. So I still think we've got one more wave down. I do think we see the D and the E wave here. I think this is an extended drawn out correction just to encourage the shorters to keep shorting. So, you know, there's a lot of big players that are building shorts here because I think this is the top. And for me, that's the perfect time to blow this through. So there's still a lot of Tether being printed. There was somebody from, I think he was from the BSV, he's blocked me since, but he did this huge big thread on Tether about how corrupt it is, and had no idea about how market making works. And I said, well, you've not taken into account that people market make, and whales market make, and exchanges are allowed to market make because it's not illegal in crypto. And then I put a Wikipedia link for him, and he blocked me. So because he knew I was right. But yeah, so it's Tether's not as illegal as everyone thinks it is. It's like it's a whole lot of FUD that goes around every time, you know, they want the market to drop, the market's looking too bullish. And, you know, there was double spend rumors, and there's been all these different sort of stuff that, you know, people are sort of talking about and going, okay, well, the market's not as bullish as it once was because this is happening. And it's like, I tend to disagree because we're holding all the indicators still at the present time. Whereas in 2017, we were sort of struggling to retouch MAs and retouch those positions. If you go back through the charts and you have a look at those areas, it was a whole different trading situation. So, you know, if we were this is, like I said before, a 15-minute chart. So if we were on this 15-minute chart and we were failing to touch these MAs, then I'd be going, okay, we're dropping lower, because these retests are failing. So, but we're not failing these patterns. So that's the thing. And this wave count here is perfect. So, we should continue up. We should retest this resistance and then come down for this E wave. At this point, we'll hear that we're going to 20,000. So, and then we'll turn around again at sort of, the 28-ish mark. So, we've got this horizontal support on this range. It's quite strong. It goes back through here. So, we've got support right through here. So from December last year. Yeah, so I don't really see an issue with that dropping down. If you were doing order block trading, it's a really good position to be buying. So, I think that's going to take a little bit of time before it sort of, does break down, if it's going to break down.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the Coinbase outflows have cooled a wee bit in the last few days. We were just discussing that before we started going live here.
There's somebody here, D-Leech, he's gone, Bitcoin will crash, sell, sell, sell. It's like, okay, I don't think so. But anyway. Okay. So thank you for
we're also I mean, you mentioned Tether there, but we're just right across the board, stable coin wise, we're seeing a hell of a lot of movement onto exchanges at the moment. And I think you've done a pretty good job of educating people on what that typically means.
Yeah, so that is market making. So that's we've got BUSD, we've got Tether, which is USDT, we've got USDC, we've got all different types of stable coins that are paired against BTC, that are paired against alts. So if you follow whale alerts, then they come out and you see that 20 million's been printed, and a token or a coin will bounce in that certain pair. So it's kind of how it works. It's not illegal to do that. You take out a loan if you need to take out a loan if you're a whale, so you get $20 million. It's normally a 7% loan. The coins move 50 to 100%, repay the loan, pocket the cash. It's really simple.
Yep.
So
Ethereum, Lisa, everyone is so excited about Ethereum.
What's
going on?
Yeah, so it is in this channel right now. So we've confirmed this upper trend. So we will get a retrace. It's still super bullish. We may not get a huge retrace here. It may just be a small one because everyone's just going, holy hell, everyone told me it was going back to $700 and now it's like at its all-time high, and what the hell, I missed this run. So that's kind of what people are doing right now. So I'm getting it on Twitter. Where do I buy into Ethereum? I was waiting way back down here, and it's like, well, I've been telling you guys to push your stop losses up. So if it drops, if it dumps, and it dumps, because there was two distinctly clear patterns. In Elliott Wave, there's often two patterns, and it's determined by a technical pivot as to which way it can go and as to which way the wave count is moving. So we've cleared those, and at the moment we're waiting on a retrace, this is our wave 1, so this is our wave 3. We'll get a wave 4 down to here and then continue up. So this is sub waves of this current pattern at the moment. So but we do have this resistance on this channel. This is resistance from this point back in at this, a couple of weeks ago. So it's not a super developed resistance. This is a 3-hour chart, so there's probably a few more touches to this region on the lower time frames. So if we go, you can see that we've attempted it a few more times. We did get this inverted head and shoulders on Ethereum, which confirmed, and then we've gone up and we've confirmed this. So that's it's been moving really nicely. The MAs are scooping down on this 15-minute chart and really hugging these waves. So we possibly won't get this deeper retrace. We'll probably only get the 100 MA is 1350. and about 13, sort of 20-ish maybe on the 200. So that's probably as deep as Ethereum's going to retrace if it does. So you can see we've already had a minor retrace here, and it's returned at 1440. So, you know, it's going to be super bullish with people going, holy hell, I think I've missed the Ethereum run. So,
and that's probably a good segue into us going through 1,000 altcoins. But before we do that, I just wanted to ask you. I mean, obviously Ethereum. I'm just getting. You know, I was at a lunch yesterday. There were 20 odd people there, and Ethereum. There were a couple of people mining it there. We're seeing Bitcoin dominance pull back to just above 60% at the moment.
Yeah, so I'll quickly go into dominance. So dominance, I do have an upper target on this. I'm still 94. So, and I still stand by that because this dominance is moving as it should. See, at the moment, we've hit this resistance. We've come back and we are going to retest this region down here. We've still got a little bit more drop. So that means that altcoins still have patterns completing. Ethereum's still going to complete patterns. So we'll probably see about 60-ish on the Bitcoin dominance before we, you know, sort of turn around and start moving with that. So once we hit that 60th mark, that's when I'll start to pull money from altcoins and start putting into Bitcoin, because that's at that point, I think we're going to really start moving. So that should be like at our E-wave when that's all complete, when altcoins are complete, and, you know, I'll trade that then with a tight stop. If we do continue down, then, you know, it's not a huge loss.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really think with this pattern, we've nearly completed this. So if I put some waves on this.
Pay attention to this, people. It is a very important metric.
Hang on. Whoops, I've just pulled the wrong waves out.
Don't pay attention to that, but then.
Yeah, don't pay attention to that. So we've got this A, B, C that potentially can go to 94. It may not go that high. So it may sit in the 80s. So, but this C wave potentially can go as high as 94. And I guarantee if Bitcoin starts moving, you know, up into the 50s and the 60s, dominance is absolutely going to go through the roof, because people are going to think, oh my God, I've missed the boat. So if we have a look at this is still corrective, these waves. We've come down, and so waves drop in, so A, B, C, and we'll have another wave down here when Bitcoin dominance will sort of fall away and the altcoins will really start taking over. So once people sort of start to see, because we really haven't seen that retail influx as yet. So that's still happening. There's a Twitter account actually there's one that has Bitcoin pizza, and it tells you how much the Bitcoin pizza is worth, like millions and millions of dollars. And then there's a new one that is the Corona stimulus, the $1,200 check, that if you had put that into Bitcoin, how much money you would have. So, and just left it and not traded it. And it's at about 6,000 or 7,000. So if you just got that $1,200 check, you put it straight into Bitcoin, you know, you'd be sitting pretty right now.
I got to jump in there. This isn't financial advice. You've got to do your own homework.
Sorry,
I personally would put my stimulus check into Bitcoin, but you got to make your own minds up out there. Not financial advice.
Not financial advice, but a lot of people did. So if we have a look at these subwaves in here, so we'll go 1, we've got our 2, 3, 4, 5, without those crossing over. So yeah, so we do have this move up with Bitcoin. So, you know, if we do break this diagonal support, I'll be thinking, okay, I'll be reassessing this and thinking Bitcoin's going the other way. But until this point happens, you know, it's still really looking bullish for me. So, you know, all the charts are hitting where they should be hitting. So, you know, looking at 2017 charts to the charts today, all indicators are stronger than what they were in January in actually 2018. So when Ethereum hit its all-time high, and you know that's kind of it is history repeating right now, but with a difference, indicators are solid. So that is
so Lisa, just sort of in summary for people that are quite new to the space, and I know there's plenty of them watching this, how would you really sort of basically describe, you know, deciding when to go into alts and vice versa back into Bitcoin, sort of using this BTC dominance as a guide? What are some sort of key?
So when dominance is green, obviously you're in Bitcoin. So when dominance starts to, retrace, that's when you go into alts. So we can see, obviously, we've had a couple of small alt runs throughout since March. So this is, we've seen this dominance sort of grow. This is since basically January 2018. So this early sort of dominance was up through a lot of the decline in Bitcoin. So we've seen these, bounces. And if you go to the Bitcoin chart at that point, you can see where Bitcoin bounces, where it declines, where it bounces, where it declines. So this is a monthly chart. If you go back to lower charts, lower time frames, you can correlate this to the Bitcoin chart and to see where, when it starts to sort of to move up, we see the rise in Bitcoin. When it starts to decline, we see the decline in Bitcoin. So, it sort of corresponds to how that's moving. So right now we saw this rise in Bitcoin where we went to the 42,000. And right now we're in a decline on Bitcoin. So obviously it's red. So that's when it goes red. And obviously alts are going crazy right now. So you want to be in alts. So at this point we've seen, so this is sort of, August. So August, if you go back through my Twitter feed, August is when a lot of these alts bottomed out. So, and I put out 100 like charts, and I'm like, this chart, this chart, this chart. And I put, I think, maybe $1,000 to $5,000 in a lot of these patterns, just had them sitting there. And it's like, I just moved stop losses, and that's pretty much all I've done on these trades. And so most of those, some have made thousands of percents, but at least, 500 to 1,000% on most of these coins. Since August. So it's only like 5 to 6 months. So that's all you had to do. You just had to sort of hodl, move your stop loss and keep going. So, and then, so right now we're peaking out on a lot of these charts. So we're coming close to that. And then Bitcoin will turn and we'll see Bitcoin take over. So, it's sort of that market cycle that we want to capture.
Very good. Now I'm looking at how many hours it's going to take me to timestamp this later on. You've got 1,000 tabs open up the top there, Lisa. Are they all the altcoins we're about to go through?
Okay, Bitcoin BSV chart is on Twitter. Strip this chart back. We've got a rising wedge in this third wave, so we should have quite an explosive wave over the next, I'll say, month.
The community's been explosive for the last week.
Yeah, so community's been going on. But anyway, I've blocked a few trolls from there, and who, it's like, for those that don't know, Dr. Craig Wright is my brother, and it's like, it doesn't affect who I am as a person. He's his own person. I'm my own person. And it's like, so people like to judge me off that. And it has no bearing on who I am as a person. I don't live with him. I haven't talked to him for a year. So we had a falling out about a personal issue. So,
Am I allowed to keep the Bitcoin white paper on my website? Can you? I know you don't talk to him.
So each to their own. Anyway, so Litecoin.
Hey, Lisa, just quickly before we go through these other charts, do you want to just have a glance at if there's any sort of viewer questions at this point? And obviously remind them to smash those likes.
Yeah, smash the like buttons. So we've got Bitcoin, crypto, BlackRock has said Bitcoin is my king. Looking forward to an AVA chart that's coming up. Yes, it was a weekly chart and it was from a monthly chart. I don't think there's any. No, there's D Leach is like spamming us with the Bitcoin will crash, sell, sell, sell. But you know, I think I've explained that like perfectly that it may not. And it's like he can be shorting or she can be shorting and you know, just continue down. So
All right. Well, we'll come back to your questions, people, if you've got any.
so there's someone, they're just on alts and just go through. So we've got one dislike. It's like out
Thank
of
you.
here.
Thanks for that. Can the rest of you that haven't hit like make up for that one, please? Just hit the like.
Yeah, and we've got
now.
222 people watching live, which is exciting.
Very
so
good.
thank
Welcome
you
along,
guys.
everybody.
So don't forget to smash the like buttons. You're going to get annoyed with us. So there's 222 of you. Smash them. I want to see 222
Exactly.
likes.
Have we not got 200 likes? What's going on? Come on. Come on, people.
Yeah.
We do this for free.
Well, we can get 221 likes because we've got one dislike. So all right, so Litecoin has broken through and we're above the MA. So this is looking good. So I've put on this chart that if we couldn't break this MA resistance, that we were going to go down. So we hit the first support on this green star that I had up on Twitter and we've bounced. Now these are technical pivots. So for anyone, I'll get Sean to put the Elliott wave link up so you can have a look. So Elliott waves are measured and they have Fibonacci rules behind them. So if you want to know how I get the targets and how they're so accurate, it's like I do Elliott wave and Fibonacci. So that is how it's done. So it does take a little bit of time to learn the rules and how it all works, but it's worthwhile because it will help your trading. So if done properly, there's a lot of Elliott wave people that do it completely wrong.
Lisa, what would be your comment on when we go into uncharted territory, i.e. a new all-time high? I hear a lot of people saying it's really Fibonacci that you've all only got to use at that point. What are your comments around that?
Support and resistance. So you've got support and resistance regions. You've got obviously Fibonacci. So they, you know, obviously you're in uncharted territory, but you know, say this was like a high on Litecoin and we were continuing up. So if I was to get, I would know that we've got resistance at this point and it's going to be difficult to break through. So this wave, like if we dropped to here and we came straight up, I would know that we were going to like 200. So in that target obviously matches with Fibonacci as well, because these are Fibonacci targets. So if we had have come straight up, we would have gone to 200 at this point. So we can see like if this was Bitcoin or Ethereum now, and we're in that uncharted territory, we do have resistance targets, and resistance, you know, comes from previous waves, and it does, you know, cause a lot of pain along the way that we can't move through. So you know, we would have support targets as well. So we had this channel here on Litecoin, and we know that, you know, if we break that, obviously we're going down. And then we would draw. So this is where like these supports come in that I'm teaching everyone to draw with 1,000 to million challenge. So you can see that we've got here, I use all the wicks. So we come down, we've got this angle of support. So we know that we're going to we've got two sort of support lines in this region that are sort of, you know, close together. So we know that we would ladder in within this region if we're dropping.
So as far as sort of touch points go, when you're putting in that support there, what is it, sort of a minimum of 3 touch points?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a minimum of 3, and it'll normally reject or pass on the 4th.
Yeah.
So, you know, if the third one doesn't even get there, we know that it's going to reject. So if we start turning down and we break the pivot here, then we know at this point we're coming down.
Okay.
So if this wave, had have come down to the pivot, which would be about halfway, and then gone up, it would have hit at this point, and then it would have dropped down. So we kind of know at those points the direction of waves. So if you follow me on Twitter, I will say, you know, it could go this way or this way. That's because we have a technical pivot within Elliott wave. So if we are retracing, then, and we continue to retrace, we now know that we are going to go a certain distance. And that's what Elliott wave and Fibonacci gives us. So we know that by counting these waves, oops, hang on, let me get rid of that. So we know by counting these waves here, say we've got our 5 waves. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a truncated fifth. So if we're drawing those waves, we know that this third wave here can't be the shortest. We know that it doesn't have to be the longest, but it can't be the shortest. So if this 5th wave here was extended, we'd have to sort of reevaluate as to where it's going. So, you know, so if we're drawing waves, we've got 1, we've got 2. So potentially this count here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's our 5 waves. Then we come down for our 4th wave, and we've got our 5th wave. So our 5th wave, when it truncates like this, is a special pattern. And you know, that's when it gets confusing. So it's a 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So it's usually a WXY or a WXYZ pattern within this range. So, and it's what is called an ending diagonal. So when we see these sort of patterns, we know that we're going to break down a fair bit. So an ending diagonal sort of, you know, it lands where it began. So this one's come down a lot more than what it did, but that's kind of how we know that. And then we've got this corrective pattern, which is normally an ABC. So because of this deep depth here, we've got an A, a B, and a C. So we've completed that pattern, and we know potentially we could get another wave down, like the making this a completely different pattern, but we've broken higher. So if we're looking, we could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, and then potentially that one, it's not drawn properly, but you know, don't hate me, guys. But that's potentially what we can be seeing within these corrective waves. So, but they're all like measured and counted, and that's kind of what I'm doing as I'm putting charts up so that they're accurate. So, you know, the Fibonacci, I know that, you know, if this wave is at this point, so if we get, so I can tell you that the 1 wave will go to the 2, 3, 6 on this. The 3rd wave generally goes to about the 0.5. And then, you know, depending on whether this wave's extended, sometimes it's just above the 0.5, and normally it's in the golden zone, which is about the 6.5 to the 6.18. So if we get wave extensions, then there's obviously different rules. So obviously this 236 is going to be an extended wave, and we can see that by the movement. And then but our 3rd wave generally always goes to the 0.5 or the golden zone. And then, you know, depending on if we get wave extensions in the other waves, then, you know, that does depend. But yeah, so we can put our Fibonacci on from our 1st wave, measure that, and get the wave targets, you know, from that sort of moving on. So that's how we would do it when we're in price discovery. So there's always a way of assessing how far these waves are going to go, what resistances are in place, and what supports are going to hold them up. So, yeah.
And if that made absolutely no sense to you, just follow Lisa on the daily on Twitter. It'll be a one-liner.
And just, I probably just talked a whole lot of technical stuff. So sorry, guys, if I didn't make sense. So I'll quickly run through these charts.
All righty, let's do it.
So yeah, oh my God, e-gold's taken off. So this is one of my favorite charts because it just moves so beautifully.
Because I still don't own it. That's why it's your favorite chart.
I've been trading it since Elron. So obviously Elron dropped in, and we had this extended correction when it became e-gold. We got the alt curl, and it held this pattern beautifully. And we can see that, you know, we're now moving up. We've just broken this pattern. So since we've been trading this up on Twitter, I've been trading it the whole time, but we've got this is so.
You love
At this
doing
point,
this, don't you?
are you doing
Still
this?
haven't won it.
616%, Sean. That's not with
Lisa, I'm following every damn trade now. I'm all over the 1,000 to 1 million. I got Reef, but I still don't have e-gold.
So e-gold's just, we can see these support and resistance ranges. So we can see that, you know, we pull this up. We know that e-gold's going to hit this next target because it has the whole way. It's just, you know, it's such a beautiful trade. So we can see here with our, we've come down, but if we take it on the tops, if we're doing sort of cross supports, we've got the tops of these waves, we can see that it hit perfectly on this position. So if we go and we take, and we do a cross support here, look at that. So that's, you would have got this cross support on e-gold and you would have continued up. So, you know, that's kind of, you could have stopped trading at this point and had you sort of, you know, targeted the resistance on e-gold, so you would have got a 25% move on that. So if you were just targeting that resistance, it broke through, which is nice, but like that's the beauty of the 1,000 to million challenge. So just drawing lines, you don't even have to know the EW behind it. You just need to be able to draw a few lines on charts and find where these lines cross, put some orders in those ranges, and boom, off it goes.
Okay,
So,
I might not get a Lambo with e-gold, but maybe a Toyota.
You might get it with the 1,000 to million challenge. So you can see we've got a
I'm all over that, Lisa. I'm all over it.
We've got a cross support in this range. So we've also got, if we're drawing this, we can see that we've also broken out. And, you know, this target is looking really good. So we've got 56 on e-gold. So we're currently at 47. So, but yeah, so trading from down here was about $7, but e-gold was Elrond before the redenomination was, you know, under, like, it had 4 or 5 zeros. So it was crazy insane. So, yeah.
Okay.
This is XRP. So XRP's fighting with MAs. This is on the 4 hour. So if we go to lower time frames, we do have support. So XRP is still holding in there with support. So don't give up on XRP yet, guys, because I really think that, you know, we're going up through these time frames. If we go, this is a 15 minutes, so 30 minutes got support, swooping under, it's looking really strong. So this is going to start really moving. So when XRP moves, it really moves. So we can see in the 40-minute, we're sort of wedging between the MAs. So we're going to have a little bit of a fight with those, and then it'll rise above. So, you know, we just want to go up through the time frames and see what's happening. So this is the hourly. We're still wedged in those MAs. So, you know, we can still see that this is, and on the 2 hourly, we're underneath. So we know that for the next probably day, we're going to stay sort of wedged between those, and then we're going to try and break up. So we do have enough room on these indicators that we're going to break up on XRP in the next, you know, little while. This is Cardano. We're in a channel. This is similar to what Ethereum is in. So I expect that Cardano is going to move up and try that channel, which is at about 45 cents. Over the next little period. Neo is sort of stuck in this range at the moment. It's still very corrective looking. It has got some stuff happening with news coming out, so I expect that that should start moving. Ocean, we're in this channel, so, and we're bouncing on all the right places. So I expect that to go up, come down for the cup handle, and then continue on.
Are you saving the coin of the week to last, Lisa, or are you going to flag it as we go through here?
I'll flag it as we go through.
Okay.
It'll be...
Hit the like button, people, for coin of the week coming up.
So Tether is in this pitchfork, and we're really filling out this pitchfork at the moment. We are testing all the channels and everything. So we're rejecting and finding support. So this is all looking really good. $5 longer term on Tether if you wanted to just sit and forget. This is Komodo. So this is hit our first target. We came down, retested our previous resistance as support, and we've taken off again. This is Uni. So lots of people asking about this today. So we started trading in this green zone on Twitter, and we've done 200% today. So that one's really, really strong looking. So for anyone that just got free Uni, you've just made 200% in the last little while.
What was that little thing down the bottom there that overbought?
On Uni?
Yeah.
This is a 12-hour chart, so no, it's not overbought yet. Oh no, this was that was correction at this point. It was okay. Overbought. Right. So we're still within that channel. So we'll be overbought probably once we get to this $14 Fibonacci target.
Uniswap fan, I love it.
Yeah, so we should see, like, I'll show you. Where's my? So we should come up here. Drop down and then continue up. That's kind of what we'll see for Uni. This is Kai, which is Cardia Chain, the Kardashian of the crypto. Just jokes. And so this one's following. We were on a diagonal support at the moment. I think we'll come up underneath this parabola, and we'll retouch this. We'll probably come down. So how I see this one moving, we'll fill out this region, come down, come up, fill out, and then it's sort of a bit choppy how it moves. So that's kind of how we'll see it before it really takes off. So this is RSR. So it's in between a resistance and a support at the moment. So, and it's this is a 4-hour chart, and it's battling the MAs on this chart. So I do expect a small drop here before continuing higher. This is ONT. We're in this channel. So as soon as we can get to this second target, we're off and racing. So the second target, so once we get there, we are going to go there, come down, and then potentially we're going to have one of those massive alt runs on ontology. So this is Loom. Loom's broken out of our channel and heading higher. So this is a gaming coin. It was originally backed by, like, I can't even think of his name.
Axie Infinity have been using it.
Yeah, so Axie Infinity have been using it, but it was also, what's the Ethereum guy?
Vitalik.
Yeah, that's it, Vitalik. So when this was an ICO, so we did this in Coin Runners. So when this was an ICO, he was promoting this as being the next big thing in gaming. So it's been really strong. So this is Phantom. So it's not retracing as much as it should have. Like, obviously it's super bullish. We've got lots of volume coming in. We are very high on these indicators. So this is a 4-hour chart. So I do expect a little bit of a retrace to reset these indicators. We've not seen that yet. So this retrace here is still very possible. So even though we've gone up here, we've just completed this wave pattern. We do need to come down for that fourth wave. So my orders are still waiting here. I may miss out, I may not, doesn't matter. I'll just move to the next coin. So seller, we've retested this buy zone a little bit. So, you know, it's moving very similar to what Kai, Kardashian coin, Cardia coin was moving. So this is a very similar sort of choppy moves, but we do have a 235% mark once we get to this point. So we're going to be very choppy here for a bit, come up, come down, come up, come down, sort of the whole way along. So, you know, it's going to be very choppy moves. So Bitcoin Cash has come down on this diagonal support perfectly, retested that. So in this pattern, we could have one more drop. So basically it could look like 2, 3, 4, 5. So our 5 waves, and then an ABC. So the way Bitcoin Cash moves is kind of choppy. So we've got an A, a B, a C. So we could see a retest of this diagonal support quite a few times before we take off. But, good opportunity to make money along the way. This is OmniSec Go. This is the bane of my existence. Kept hitting my stop, so I've given up trading it.
I could have told you that about a year ago, Lisa. It's the most frustrating token I've ever dealt with.
It's just absolutely horrible right now.
Actually, I could have told you that 3 years ago.
Yeah. It's just, I gave it a good go. So we've got this channel here that we're just absolutely stuck in for OmniSec Go. So we could come down and retest. We're sort of stuck in these MAs at the moment, even on lower time frames. So I do think we're going to come down and retest this before we head up. So it's kind of doing whatever it wants at the moment.
Just a quiet word here to the audience. Obviously, this is a layer 2 technology on Ethereum. I don't think we've got a chart for it today, but take a look at XDAI and Matic and that sort of class of products, just from a fundamental point of view. They're two I like.
Yeah. So
sorry to interrupt, Lisa. Back to you.
Like on the Tether network. So you've got different ways of moving Tether around now. So OMG is one, TRX is another. Or you can use the standard like gas fees and they're like through the roof. OmniSec Go and TRX is obviously actually like next to nothing to move Tether on TRX. So it's the way to go at the moment. Kasama, it's doing really well. So we're in this corrective pattern. We've come down. We might get one more wave down, breaking this diagonal support. But it's holding fairly strong at the moment. And then we're going to take off on our third wave. Reef, which was my coin of the week last week.
32%. Well done.
Yeah, so it's moving really strongly and holding these diagonal supports. There's a platform that I was talking to one of the designers today that is coming out in the next month. It's going to be massive, so you can stake your reef on there. So this is on the Polkadot chain. Anything basically that's on the Polkadot chain turns to like gold at the moment. So, there's a couple of ones that I'm looking for when they come out. So Kylan, Moonbeam, I'll be watching those when they do come out. Next. Node, we're kind of moving in this very boring sort of region, but it should start to bounce. We've got some nice sideways movement on this at the moment. It's just a bit boring. Wink. So Wink is it is a gaming coin for the Las Vegas casinos. And so basically you can go online, you can gamble with Wink. And it's looking really strong. They've got some new platforms and that coming out. So we've made 40% since this chart was posted on Twitter. Sean's disappeared. He's bored. So this is DOT. So DOT, we potentially have a B wave here. We haven't broken the high yet. So if we do break the high, I will reassess this as being complete. But for me, it's still got a wave down. So I'm in this trade. I do have a tight stop if we do come down, and then we should continue up on that wave. So I haven't posted this on Twitter at the moment because it is very boring and it's just sort of going sideways in this range. Link, we broke the all-time high by this little dot here today. So, and we are sort of, trying to hold on at this point. So it's looking very bullish right now just because, FOMO is kicking in because it did break that high. So, but I do think we're in this ABC. So this B can break higher, which it's done it, but only a little bit. So I still think we're going to come down.
Lisa, can I a personal question here on Chainlink? So I'm getting asked a million questions on it. Would you consider this a long hold as part of a balanced portfolio? I mean, I would sort of put DOT in that category now alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum for me personally.
Yeah, so Chainlink, DOT, my long ones that I don't touch obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, DOT. I do have BSV. So they're kind of the staples in my account that I don't ever, like I will trade them sort of in and out within patterns, but they're always there. So, you know, and then there's others that sort of come and go and I chop and I change. But yeah, these ones are always there because they're good performers. And when they do move, they really move. So,
sorry, did you say you did have BSV? Are you telling us you've come out of your position there?
no, I do have BSV, but I've cut
You
down
do?
how much BSV I do have.
Right. Okay.
So I've increased my holdings on Chainlink and on DOT, and I now only have 5% BSV.
Yes, I've had some long chats with some people on that front today. I think
I'll
advise them to do the same.
The fact that, you know, it's when I sort of look at my portfolio every 2 to 3 months, and I look at what's performing and what's not. So if Chainlink or DOT are not performing in the next, you know, 2 to 3 months, then I will reassess whether I'm holding those or not. Like, and by holding, I mean trading them in the larger patterns because I'm a trader. So I don't ever just sit there and hodl something like from $1 to $15, like it's traded throughout. Yeah, so BSV is the least performing coin that I have within my portfolio. So it, you know, eGold's another one that is one of the staples in my portfolio as well.
Oh, really? You put that in that category? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because it's probably the best performing coin that I've got there. So, you know, it's a must have as far as I'm concerned because they just move within pattern and they don't break pattern. So that's what I look for in the overall health and sort of longevity of a coin.
Yeah.
So fun. We're in this channel. So we did break up, but we came quickly back into this channel. So I expect that we'll retest here before coming back down. So we've got a 0.23-ish sort of target on this, which from this point up, so it's about a 44% move. So it's not a bad move on fun. Sushi, we've just nearly gone to our next target. It's just taken off. So,
oh Lord.
Everything's moving at the moment. So that's what I was saying. You know, we've not finished these, you know, completed these patterns in a lot of these alts. So this is we've made nearly 100% on sushi over the. So we'll remove that because it's 100% now. So we've been trading this since the 22nd of January. We entered this trade, which is just 3 days. 100%.
I was posting dodgy memes about sushi a couple of months ago.
I was refusing to trade it, but when Bitfinex was listing it, I thought this is going to pump, and then I looked at the pattern and I'm like, okay, this is going to pump. So yeah, so 100% in 3 days, not bad. This is Nano. Nano's just broken out of this resistance, so it should start moving. We might see like a drop down to this. We've got a cross support here. So that's not unlikely to come back down and retest this cross support. So I would be, if I, you know, I'm in this trade, but if I was buying back into this trade, I'd be placing a laddered order down to this, not financial advice, of course. So back down to around the $3 mark. Atom, we've come back down. So we know that this is within a wave one pattern. It hasn't crossed over. It's bounced very strongly. So we should get a little bit of sideways movement before hitting this $12 and $37 target. So it's moving really strongly. Ava. So Ava does have some news coming out, and I am privileged to know this news, but it hasn't happened yet. And yeah, so when it does, and I think they're still signing final contracts and doing all of this stuff. So
would have had a nice week, Lisa. What did it do? About 21, 22%?
Yeah, I think so. So we were down under this support, so under this resistance. So it's
been a brilliantly performing project. It just obviously being in the travel industry, it sort of surprises me that that's the case. But,
well, the thing is, like they go across platforms, so they're, you know, Expedia, Airbnb. So you know you can book all of those through Ava with your cryptocurrency. So this is not an ad for Ava, but this is like an epic project, and they have, you know, their turnover, like monthly turnover, which I posted yesterday on Twitter, is just absolutely epic. So You know, it's hit this target, so it's doing really well. So if we go back, let's go back to a 4 hour.
Actually, if there's anyone watching from this project, I'd love to host you on the channel to have a chat about exactly what you're doing from a fundamental point of view. I have actually spoken to these guys in the past, but it's been a while. It'd be great to have them
so
on.
we've done about 200% in the last little bit. So since, you know, in under a month, we've done 200% on Ava, which is really nice. So yeah, really, really strong project.
Yeah. Oh my God, this one's been a huge mover. The hell's going on?
So this is massive. So this was way back when I had my Discord, Satoshi Sisters Discord. This was actually what I recommended to be a long-term hold, which was Lend at that point before it became AAVE. So and
you punted it to me a long time ago.
Yeah, I did
actually buy it.
Yeah, so it was, I think I had 5 zeros at that point. It was like 5 zeros and 2 cents, like 2 at the end. At that
Unfortunately,
point,
I sold it, Lisa.
Oh, of course you did.
So
obviously this one was redenominated, and a lot of coins that do get redenominated absolutely take off. They move sideways for a little bit. So eGold's one, AAVE is one, and you know, DOT is another one that's been redenominated. So you know, when that sort of happens, we need to sort of take note, because there's big things happening and there's reasons why they get redenominated. So it's worth looking into it and doing the research. So this one, yeah, just epic. So we'll get a minor sideways correction this point before continuing up. I do have a $500 target on this one longer term. District Ox. So we did get a wick down, which was a potential pattern break. If it had have been a full candle, it would have been a pattern break. A wick is okay in that region. We're now back above diagonal support. We're filling out this region like I said we would do on Twitter, and we should break higher. We've got 150%. So this is going to be BZX protocol is going to be my alt of the week. Oh. So it has my beautiful alt curl, was given to me by John Matrix last night on Twitter. He said, have a look at this, Lisa, it's curling up. And this is, you know, I had a look at what the project's doing, and I really think this has got legs, this one. So I'm sort of laddering into this range, and we've got a 350% move potentially coming up. So they've got some really big things happening in this project.
So will this be a trade for 1,000 to 1 million, obviously?
It could be, yes. So we're coming down onto those supports. So if we go, this is a 4-hour chart, which is a good way to do a support. So we've got a support here. We've got a support here. And we can draw this diagonal. So we know that on this green buy zone that I've got on here, so which is about 29.30-ish, we can get a good buy in this and make an easy 3%.
Can I just ask you a quick question on the 1,000 to 1 million? Because obviously you called Reef last week, which is, you know, done magnificently up 32%. How are we sort of looking at trading these things? Because, you know, obviously if you're looking at it, if Reef's chart still looking great, are you sort of holding that, or are you looking
1,000 to million? You need to sort of be closing out the profit daily and then moving into the next trade. So,
but could that next trade be the same coin?
It can be the same coin. You can keep trading it if you want to. If there's a cross, support at that region, then I would continue trading. You can let it run if it's not hit the resistance, but the strategy is a compound strategy. So your strategy is to have 1,000, 1,030, 1,063, that sort of thing, sort of compounding as we go along. Oh, there we go. That's what my alerts look like, guys. And
oh God.
This is this Coco is going to work it out. Whoa, we've held this pattern, so this is exciting. So so everyone was worried on Twitter, obviously, because this is going down. We've held This is, if we go back down, we've got a wave 1, we've got 5 waves here, we've come down, we've completed this second wave, we've stabilized in this region. We can still come down to the 73 mark if this doesn't hold here. But all in all, Coco's is looking really strong to me. So, you know, this has been redenominated in the last few days, and this is why I've started trading this. I've got a few people that are going, oh, look at the old chart. It looks horrible. Yeah, and some of them do. It's like, the old chart doesn't make any difference. What matters is this chart. So Coco's has just hit this target here, which means it is really solid and it is going off. So we'll probably see a minor correction in this range. We could see another touchdown to here. I doubt it. I think we're going to sort of go sideways here and then continue up. So yeah, to me, this is a good trade. And I've got an upper target longer term of $3 on this one. So apologies to everyone. I did get, you know, everyone FOMOing in at the top on this, but I think we'll be back there very soon. So yeah.
We'll let you off one slip up, Lisa. B2X. I sort of spoke over the top of you a wee bit there, where it was the coin of the week. Yeah. So how you playing that one? Can you give us a few more thoughts around it?
So this one. So this is. So I'm laddering into this zone, which is around sort of the down to 29-ish cents, and then.
BZX.
Yeah. So on the ticker, it's BZRX USDT, and it's BZX protocol. So if you want to research it, so it's got some really cool stuff happening.
I will be doing that as soon as we're done here.
So that's my coin of the week. And Coco, I love Coco. I think everyone should be trading this.
Was it a close second for coin of the week, was it?
It is. So I've put a lot of information on. So when I started trading DOT and I was so excited about DOT, it was because Gavin Wood was heading that project. So we've got the head of NEO is the head of this project. So, you know, she's moved across, and yeah, I've put all those tweets out. So if anyone wants to go back and just search the hashtag Cocos on my Twitter, and you'll see all those hashtags explaining what this project is. It's NFTs. It's going to be really huge in Japan. It's associated with a lot of gaming platforms, and similar to what I've been talking about with Loom and a few projects. So, you know, this is a 2-hour chart. The MACD is starting to curl up. We've held the supports. We've held, we can see that we've got this. So on the 1-hour chart, Coco's has just crossed over bullish on the MACD. So it's looking really strong. So if we go to the 15-minute chart, we've come down, we've touched these, we're fighting with the MAs at the moment. We should break through those in the next couple of hours, because this is only a 15-minute chart. And then, you know, we can see that it's on the 45-minute. These are clean waves. It's got really clean waves. So if you're wanting to get into Cocos, I would be laddering down to the 72-ish point on this chart, just in case it does continue to drop a little bit. It's still within pattern to do that. It may not drop that low, but it's looking really, really strong. So another one is, this is a new chart as well. So it's very hard to chart. So this is 1 inch. I haven't put this one on Twitter yet because I have been watching it. Because it has been very, very overbought. So I do think we're going to see a retrace. On the retrace, we'll probably get about the 2.1 mark, and then it should continue. So because these indicators are showing that they're a little bit overbought on the 4-hour. So I do expect a retrace. And then at that point, I will put it up on Twitter. But this is another good project as well that's come up on Binance.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So well done, Lisa. 400 charts. I'm going to be here for the next few hours, timestamping it all. It's how much I love you, people. So please hit the like button and subscribe.
Can I say to all the boys out there, I'm just going to say to all the boys out there, everyone holds their phone and they have their phone, and it's not friggin' that hard to reply to a text message. It's really not. If somebody sends you a text message, it takes 2 seconds to say, oh, I'm busy, or I can't reply, or whatever. It's like, how hard is it? Just saying.
Is that for all the boys or one particular boy that?
There's a few boys that do.
You're giving a general lesson.
Yeah, general lesson.
Speaking of lessons, Lisa, obviously you just finished your script today. I know you've got a huge meeting tomorrow.
Yes, I've got a huge meeting tomorrow and another even more huger meeting on Friday. So,
for those of you that don't know, Lisa has written an amazing script. I know a lot of it's quite factual. I've really enjoyed it. I mean, it's going to be massive for the crypto space. It's I don't think there's too many people that have been entrenched as you.
It has got a very positive message throughout. So as much as we delve into some of the darker side of crypto and the darker side of emotions, I think we've got a fairly sort of positive outcome on that. So it's
absolutely. I mean, look, a big takeaway for obviously I've read a few of the other earlier incarnations of it, but that same theme of it's a very emotional script, and you are drawing those parallels between relationships, emotions that go with those, and and trading. And I think there's a lot of lessons in the movie and the script. So big takeaway for me today was always remind yourself that be careful getting emotion involved in your trading.
Yeah, and I think I touched on that last week as well. So where I was quite emotional and I lost a trade. So it's like when you're emotional, just step away. It's you don't need to be in a trade always. You don't need to be sort of really focusing on that. So just make sure you're always putting your health and your mental stability first. And
Yes, I was making trades back in 2016 as the sun was coming up on a beach in Thailand. I wouldn't advise that.
Yeah, so he can't text me back. I'm just looking at Stephen's message. My brother can't text me back because he's blocked. So there you go. I don't know if he's texted me.
So any other questions from anyone before we go? Did you want to have a...
Oh, I want to show everyone. So I went down to the beach and
Oh, come on, people. There's 217 of you watching. We've only got 159 likes, for God's sake.
Smash the likes, guys.
If you haven't done that, just
anyway,
do
so
that.
I went down to the beach on Saturday, as everyone knows. I posted some photos. And I didn't get sunburn at the beach. Not a little bit of sunburn. But I've got a convertible and I had the roof down. And driving back, I've got to show everyone that I got sunburn. So check out my leg.
Oh,
that's
hit the like button to that one.
There we go, car sunburn. There we go. didn't get sunburn at the beach. Just got sunburn in my car.
Yeah, you can see how red my face is. It's not from drinking whiskey. I've actually been off the booze back in New Zealand, but good God, the sun is different down here than Asia.
Yeah, we've got a ozone layer that's missing, so you can see this is my arm as well. It's not as bad as my leg, but my leg is like super sunburnt, and it's like from my car, not from the beach. That's the annoying thing. So
we're very lucky down here at the moment. We can actually sort of get out and about, and I've got some videos coming up where I'm going to show you a bit of the local scenery in New Zealand. I've been filming as I've been traveling down the island, so stay tuned for that, people. I'm just praying it remains like that. Unfortunately, we've had an outbreak of COVID here today. Just heard about it.
Oh, really?
Yep. Somebody from the isolation came out of the hotel. They'd passed all their COVID tests, but it's back in the community. So it's a bit of a worry.
That's not good.
No, after months and months and months of lockdown in Asia, I've come back here to...
Yeah, no, you don't want to come back there and get locked down. That's just crazy stuff.
No, I hope not. I mean, but my thoughts do go out to all the people watching this that are in lockdown. We've both endured months of it ourselves, Lisa. So
yes, dating is like crypto. I'm just like reading. Dating is definitely like crypto.
Dating is like crypto. How's that?
congratulations. It's like, yes, I'm high now. No, I'm low. It's like
Don't date and trade. That's it. That's my advice. That's the financial advice for today. Be a hermit.
You can't give financial advice.
No relationships. Don't even talk to other people. Just stay.
Don't talk to
on the
anyone.
screen,
Don't.
listening to Lisa's charts.
That's it. That's it.
And
All
you'll
right,
be fine.
guys.
Hey, listen, Lisa, thank you once again. You put in hours and hours and hours here, all for free. So get over and follow Lisa on Twitter. That link's below if you haven't done that already. I'm sure you have. I'm certainly following the 1,000 to 1 million. You've been nailing it.
Start trading it, guys. Have a look at the website. If you do have any questions, hit me up on Twitter. I try to answer them all. And it's like, I do answer even the ones that you think are stupid. So, sometimes when the market does go down, all the new people panic and have heart attacks, and it's like markets go up and down. So I know all of you watching know that. So, but a lot of new people on Twitter sort of go, why is it going down? I bought this at this price and now it's less. It's like, well, yeah.
And we're also, we're very close to sort of lining up some decent deals for the hardcore traders out there. We should have that in place by next week for you. But it would also be really interested to hear from everyone watching, what platforms you do use, which ones you really rate, which ones you don't. We're doing our best at the moment, talking to some bunch of different companies to try and bring you some decent offers. So give us your feedback as well. What anything you're finding out there in the market that you think other people should know about? We'd love to hear from you on that. And as I say, look, follow Lisa on the daily on Twitter. She really does put a huge amount of content out there for free for all of you. And you've been going well, Lisa. Keep it up. And we'll see you back here Monday and on Twitter on the daily, obviously.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, guys. See you on Twitter.